The screen says we are live, and this is Drac Daniels at the Boxers Trainers channel. And the screen again says we're live, so I am thinking that we are actually live. Hello, listen. Tonight is fight night, and they have some excellent boxing tonight, featuring at super welterweight is David Morrell versus Sena Agbeko. Again, at the super middleweight. This is a hot division. At the head of that division is Saul Canelo Alvarez, whom is the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. He has all the belts, and those in hot pursuit of that belt, the number one person would be Benavidez. Benavidez, David Benavidez. And in hot pursuit of David Benavidez is a bunch of characters, right? I'm gonna give you the order as I perceive it. You got Caleb Plant, who is an exceptionally good boxer. I mean, all the way around the globe in his work abilities, whether it's his feet work, his hand speed, his ability to be very, very mindful when it comes to his defense, which means that he's not being hit as much as those that doesn't have a great or good defense, right? So Caleb Plant is one of the one hot pursuit of Saul Canelo Alvarez, and I might add that it is alleged that Saul Canelo Alvarez is the number one person of the face of boxing. If not number one, number two. There is a discussion or a debate that is ongoing in regards to who qualifies as the face of boxing. And I will give a little briefing at the end of the show or before I go off the air when it comes to that issue, the face of boxing. So moving on. So we have, like I said, the night show, right, is featured by Showtime. Showtime Boxing, right? So let the record reflect that there's obviously some contractual issues still pending when it comes to Showtime and whether Showtime is completely done with boxing, right? There has to be some contractual issues still in play for Showtime to still be doing shows, I might say that Showtime had announced that they would uh, do this particular fight. And if memory serves me correctly, I think they're under contract to do at least two more, and that would be from the so-called face for the so-called face of boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez. I think that they have to, per contract, do at least two more fights with the face of boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez. That being said, David Morrell is 25 years of age. He's 6 feet 1. He has a 78.3-inch arm reach. He's a left-handed. A left-handed. That's pretty good, right? And, most left-handers that come into the fray of being above the fray in in what I want to say what the developmental stage is as it pertains to how far they up or down the win race, the win lose column, right? Where are they when it comes to 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 in that division? Wow. Okay. So I'm almost certain that Caleb Plant is like 3 or 4, if not one. No, excuse me, 3 or 4. He definitely is not 1 or 2 because that those two are definitely sold up. And I want to say one would be sold Canelo Alvarez because he holds the title, and two who is in hot pursuit of that said title would be David Benavidez, right? Um, we had a viable third party that could have been could have been uh, above the fray when it comes to what number they are on in regards to number 1, 2, 3, or 4. What place would they fall into? And that was Dimitri Andre. But unfortunately for Dimitri Andre, he's no longer in the picture because he took a dreadful loss from excuse me, from David Benavidez, right? I mean, David Benavidez whooped him, period. Ain't no sense in even discussing the issue. He whooped him, right? Stopped him in the 7th round. Okay, so but there's still a couple more. Um, uh, and actually, David Morrell would be considered one of them. I think. I think David Morrell would be considered as one, and another would be Jamel Charlo, which actually fights at 160, but after his win over Jose Benavidez, right, he is considered that was considered as a stepping stone to 168 from 160 to 168, meaning that he is saying that he no longer wants to fight at 160, although he holds WC middleweight champions of the world. He holds that title today, but the way that he interjected going up to 168 was that he's going basically where his body takes him, and his body is moving towards 160 as opposed to 168 as opposed to 160. Now he never indicated that he's having a weight problem, which means that he no longer can make 160. He is basically following the I want to say the protocol, so to speak, of which direction he's optioning to go, right? And has nothing to do with his weight. It's what the money is, and the money for a person like um, Charlo, Jamel Charlo, would be 168, in my opinion. So David Morrell's dancing partner again is Sena Agbeko. I believe that's African because it's pretty close to the word of his last name would indicate to me, based on the fact that I do know a little Swahili, that Agbeko is African. Yeah, not that that means anything, but I'm just making a point there in reference to my ability to speak a little Swahili. Nothing more, less than that. Okay, that is supposed to be a knockout, drag out fight because Sena Agbeko said he's gonna knock David Morrell out. How dare him? Yeah, he said that. He said he's gonna knock the old boy out. You know what I mean? And David Morrell is not a bum. You know what I'm saying? Actually, he's been petitioning everybody in that division, including David Morrell and so Canelo Alvarez, right? And beyond that, including people calling his name. Hello, and that's making a statement in and of itself. You know what I'm saying? So that's saying a lot of people don't want this smoke because obviously the boys living in smoke. Okay, so uh, that's going to be a good fight. We're going to watch that tonight and do a preview, more likely after the fight. But we got another fight tonight, fight night tonight, which features and this is a good match also, right? This is featuring Chris Colbert. This is the 135 in the 135 division, lightweight division, right? Which is left open after the great. I like saying the great. I know everybody doesn't agree to that, but I like saying the great Devin the Dream Haney dropped all his belts after he became the undisputed lightweight champion of the full belt era, the youngest lightweight champion, the undisputed lightweight champion of the full belt era. He dropped all his belts as any uh, logical thinking human being in the sport would do after he goes up to another division. He dropped the belts. Go on, keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Let those that's coming behind him pick those belts up and do what they're supposed to do with their belt, and that is to unify. And at the end of the day, not saying that that's going to take a day, it's because it's going to take a while to get to the point where them belts get unified, and at some point there will be another undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Right? Who knows? It might even be different. I don't know. Contrary to the fact that the Haney's are saying, excuse me, that Devin is outgrowing 135, and he is. He's a big kid. You know what I mean? He's a big young man. So he's going to go out of that 135. At that height, especially, Devin is 5'10", right? 5'10". So 25 years of age, you still growing. You're gonna put on some weight. You staying healthy, you staying active, right? And you only reason you're not putting on any extra weight is because you're working out, right? But at 25, you ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to prevent you from picking up weight, other than working out. You know what I'm saying? You got to work out, man. I mean, you're gonna do it anyway because you're a professional athlete. And I was thinking about that the other night, and I just applaud Bill Haney and Devin Haney for what they've achieved in the sport. Right? I mean, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to be an athlete. An athlete. You know what I'm saying? Not only in boxing, athletes, man. Them cats is special. Athletes are special, man. I was watching football the other day, and he was a defensive lineman for the Oakland Raiders. I can't recall his name. No, I can't recall his name. It's Jacobs. Was it Jacobs? Cosby, excuse me, number 98, Cosby, right? I think he kept like 32 years old. And you could tell he take care of his health because he was lean, you know what I'm saying? And they did interviews with this dude, and everything that came out of his mouth with that, I'm an athlete. This is what we do, you know what I'm saying? As athletes, we take care of our body, you know what I'm saying? We do our jobs, whatever it is that the athletes do, and we do it good, right? I mean, he was spewing that, and it just turned me on to the point where I was thinking about calling and Bill and having Bill telling Devin, his son, that there are people that are proud of him simply because they made the grade, they made the cut to become an athlete. I see now. I can say that, and I know what that means because, man, I was an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't easy being an athlete for those who haven't made the attempt to stay at a certain weight, maintain that weight, and be solid in everything that you do about your body, your mass, your muscles, and the whole 9 yards. Right? That is not an easy task. It's not. I mean, you do that every day of your life. Come on, man, that's hard. You know what I'm saying? And it takes a special breed of people to be able to put themselves in a position where they utter out of their mouth they're an athlete. They're athletes. I just got a lot of respect for people, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially given the circumstances that I discussed within myself the other night about athlete, man. Athlete is something else, man. You know what I'm saying? Chris Colbert and Jose Valencia. 2. Because the first one, I think Valencia whooped him. He did. He whooped Chris Colbert. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about that, but I take that back. I believe it was a draw. Don't quote me on that, but I do know for a fact that it's a grudge match. I don't know whether it had anything to do with the first fight or whether they just don't like each other now because I mean they picking and pulling on each other like in the face off, like they want to get out right then, right? And it was really noted because there was a lot of conversation back and forth about, oh, why they mad at each other like that? Why they acting like that, pulling and look like they want to get out on the stage, right? Which I really don't understand why they would do that. I'll put themselves in the position why they would do that because if they did that, I mean, who would want to see them fight? They already seen them fight to a certain degree, right? That would take the luster out of want to see them fight in person or via pay-per-view or their television, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So, but back to the reality. The reality is that these two cats allegedly have a grudge match, and I'm of the opinion that based on the fact that the psychological thing indicates that these people don't go at each other and they try to tear each other's head off. So we might want to see that fight. Do you feel me? We might want to see that fight. Now, a little touch, not much because I'm getting out of here. A little touch on the face of boxing. Now, I'm constantly hearing back and forth between Gervonta Tank Davis, the so-called face of boxing, if not the face of boxing. He's one or two in accordance with they have alleged, which is responsible for being said to be the face of boxing. Tank Davis is one of them. Now, Devin Haney says, or the Haneys believe that Devin Haney is the face of boxing based on the fact that his accomplishments and the way he conducts himself, and he, as a boxer, he calls out those that wearing these labels on face of boxing or the cash cow or the sport or whatever the case may be in that regard. But my thing about this face of boxing is this. Now, I personally have a thing as a black man to be considered a ninja. I'm not going to even use the word because I can't stand the word. You feel me? So I'm making this reference because the so-called face of boxing, Tank Davis, made certain comments about the ninja toward Bill Haney, right? It was just a derogatory comment that suggests to me that Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis, uses certain terms, right, that are totally disrespectful to me, right? I would be very insulted if Tank Davis or anybody else for that matter would refer to me as a ninja. Because that's not what I am. I'm a black man. I mean, you can call me a black man all day and all night, but those filthy N words and words of same like, no, I ain't going for that, man. I'm saying this to say that me personally, and I hope Tank Davis hears this, or somebody, man, push that, man. I mean, dude, it's really, you know what I'm saying some really heavy stuff about you, brother. You know what I'm saying? And the choice of words that you use, and the things that, and the people that you use them toward, like your elders, right? They say, well, it's just boxing. Look, check this out, man. I ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Disrespect is disrespect. And for whoever participates in using that word, they'll stop. I mean, you're grown, yeah, but by the same token, you need to act in accordance with being grown, right? Grown, intelligent men don't let foul, garbage-like things come out of their mouth. You see what I'm saying? I mean, listen, to most of y'all, it ain't nothing because this is just an everyday practice for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Man, that's all. It don't mean nothing. It's just a word that we use all our life. That's all we know. Now, I used it too, 40, 50 years ago, until I woke up to the fact that that's not really what I am. I mean, intelligent, handsome black man that commands and demands the same respect in that regard. So, for those who want to argue face of boxing and who's should be considered the face of boxing, look, you know, we need to start having a criteria if that's what y'all want to do. You want to label people. We need to have a criteria, right? And what things are good for who's the face of boxing and what are bad. And I think that the word nigger should be in that column where that's a mark against you, especially when you use it against your elder. Okay, that's all I got for y'all. I hope you enjoyed all the conversation, but especially the part about the use of that word. You feel me? And you know what you do. Hit the subscription button because I need some more subscriptions to get where I need to go. Right? It's like I said from the beginning when I first started this project. This is a project, but if I'm not successful with this project, then something's wrong because it's like everything that I put my mind to do, I do it, and I do it because I want to be of the mindset that people look at you and they say, "Man, dude can do that. I can do it too." That's what I'm about. I ain't about all that dumb stuff. I ain't into that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a God-fearing, intellectual black man that has something to offer to those who got an ear to listen. You feel me? Hit the subscription button, hit the like button, share my channel with your friends, your family, and those that you like and don't like. It doesn't really matter. But just help me process my program. I need some comments, especially about that N word. You feel me? I'm out. Man.